Hey guys, so I'm here with Essence. Hopefully, you guys can see her. I'm just gonna sit back and let y'all look at her. I changed her off camera because my tripod was being stupid, and every time I moved her to change her, it would fall over, and I just got frustrated. So I said, screw it, I'm gonna change her off camera and then just show her to you guys when I'm done. So that's what I'm doing. Um, I changed her into this cute sleeper. It's sort of fleecy material, and I think it's pink, and it's got little bows on the snaps. And I'm pretty sure it came with her. I'm pretty sure that she was wearing the sleeper when I got her in her box opening. So it's been that long since she's worn it, so I thought, well, might as well just put her in it because it's really cute and she hasn't worn it in a really long time. And I also put a wafer in her diaper, so she smells like baby powder, which is lovely. And yeah, I wanted to chat about a couple things in this video, do a couple tags, um, and just talk about one other quick thing that came up as I was putting the wafer in her. And I thought about it as well when I put a wafer in Cadence a while ago. And when you unwrap these wafers, you can feel a slight liquidy, like wet feeling. And I guess that's just the baby powder scent, whatever it is on the cardboard. But I'm just worried that might stain the cloth body somehow. I would have no way of knowing if that happened, obviously. But yeah, I'm just slightly worried about that, but I shouldn't be, I guess, because everybody uses these wafers in their dolls' diapers, so obviously they don't stain, but I did feel that little bit of wetness when I opened up the package, and I was just slightly worried about it, but I did tuck it in her diaper, so she does smell lovely like a real baby. And she's all in her cute sleeper, and she looks so cute. And I just love this baby. I won't even go on and on about it because you know how I feel about Essence. But anyway, the tags. So I'm gonna finish off the Never Never Have I Ever from Mia's Dolls and Fun. And number 5 was Never Never Have I Ever tried to pass my baby off as a real baby. Or sorry, tried to pass a reborn off as a real baby. And this is a tricky one because when we take our babies out, the goal is obviously to have them be as real as possible, or to present them as real as possible. But if anybody ever asked me, is that real or is that a doll, I would tell them it's a doll. I would never lie about it. So I never have intentionally, but when I take my babies out, it's with the intent that they're going to look as real as possible. But if anybody ever asked me, I would tell the truth and say it's a doll. So that's my answer. I do have a quick little story about that. I recently started using this service that one of my coworkers told me about. It's called Handy, and basically what it is it's like Uber for cleaning services. So it's an app that you download, and they basically connect you to a professional who can come in and do cleaning for you, or basic handiwork, like if you need a drain unclogged or a light fixture hung or something like that. And absolutely despise cleaning my house. I mean, I do it because it's a necessary evil, but it doesn't give me any joy. I know some people clean to relieve stress. I don't feel any stress relief from cleaning. I just get stressed out because I have to clean. So I decided to give this a try, and I loved it. The rates are very reasonable, and I will definitely continue to use this service because it was amazing to not have to clean. And they did a really good job, and I'm really happy. So anyway, when the lady was here cleaning on Monday, I told her that there wasn't really anything to do in the bedroom, but she came in here anyway to vacuum and dust and whatnot, and I'm glad she did. But when she was leaving, after she was done, she said, "Oh, you have really cute dolls." And I said, "Thank you." And I told her, and she said, "At first I thought, oh, she has a baby and it's sleeping." And then I came closer and I saw that there was 4 of them, and I saw that they were dolls. And I was telling her about how they're reborns and they're handmade, and I said, I hope that they didn't creep you out or anything, because I know that, some people can feel differently about dolls. And she said, "Oh no, they're beautiful." And she was really impressed, and I didn't feel slighted that she knew that they were dolls. At first she said she thought it was a real baby, and then she came closer. And the way I have them in the cradle, there's 4 babies lying in there right now, so that's not really very realistic. So it didn't slight me at all. I was encouraged by the fact that at first she thought that I had a real baby, and that she thought that they were beautiful. So I just had to tell you about that because it was a little reaction that I got, and I thought it was pretty cool. So that was good. And then, so that's my answer to question number 5 of Mia's tag, Never Never Have I Ever. And then I also wanted to do this tag from Tori of Tori's Reborn Babies. She is one of my good friends in the community, and she came up with this fun tag, and it is to tell the story of the day that you got your very first reborn. Now, the day that I got my very first reborn was documented. I did a box opening. My very first reborn was Jamari, and I think I did tell you guys about that day on that day, so you can go back and watch that video. It's pretty far back in my videos now. It was the very first reborn video that I ever did. It was my box opening video of Jamari. You can't really see anything in it because when I was doing it on my computer, and I really didn't know how to film videos. So it was terrible. You can't see anything. But if you want to go listen to it, you can, for anybody who hasn't seen it. But the day that I got Jamari was a very stressful day because I was traveling home from seeing my boyfriend in Louisiana, and it was already stressful because I was supposed to leave the day before. It was March 9th of this year, 2016. I was supposed to leave March 8th. I was supposed to go home on March 8th, but in typical Louisiana weather fashion, there was a storm that delayed my flight, so I got to stay an extra day, well, an extra night, I guess, which was cool. But then we had to get up ridiculously early because my flight left at I think 4 or 5 the next morning. And I remember it was a mad scramble. My boyfriend and I were both visually impaired. So we were trying to get an Uber at that time of the day to get me to the airport. And we were stressed out because there weren't any Ubers the first few times that we tried to get one. So we thought we were going to have to call a cab. And at that time he lived in Lafayette, which is a decent sized city, but it's not. Apparently the cab service there is really crappy and you could be waiting for like half an hour for a cab. So that was a bit stressful. We finally got an Uber and I got to the airport and that was all good. But then I literally had to take 3 planes home because there was 3 layovers on my trip. It was ridiculous. It was the cheapest flight that I could find, and for good reason, because there was 3 layovers. So I had to make 3 connections, and I literally almost missed my last connection from LA to Vancouver because when I got off the plane, I was supposed to have somebody meet me, like an airport personnel, meet me and assist me to my next flight. And I think there was a delay in the flight. It left late. And then it took me a while to get assistance, and by the time I got to the flight from LA to Vancouver, they were literally like, the door was closed and they were just about to leave and they were literally holding it for me. So I made it just in the nick of time, but that was really super stressful because I was stressed out, extra stressed out because I had plans that night to go out with my friends for a late birthday dinner. We were supposed to meet at a pizza place and go out for dinner. And I was like, well, I don't want to have to cancel my birthday dinner. So I needed to get home that day. And I was just super stressed because traveling is stressful, and I had been up since ridiculous o'clock that morning. I was exhausted and I almost missed my flight, and just dealing with airport personnel and like traveling when you're blind can be stressful. I mean, I would imagine that traveling when you're sighted can be stressful too. But when you're blind, you just add on an extra layer of stressfulness, and it's like, ugh. So, yeah. And then, when I landed in Vancouver, I called my mom and let her know that I landed and whatever. And I told her that I needed to go to the post office and get my baby because, in true post office fashion, they tried to deliver Jamari the day I left for Louisiana. So she'd been sitting in the post office for a week. And my mom was like, oh, well, yeah, you better hurry up and get to the post office because usually if a parcel is there for a certain amount of time, they'll send it back. And I was like, oh my goodness, that is the last thing I need. I don't need them to send it back. And I was sick on top of all that. I got a cold when I was in Louisiana. And I was all stuffed up and just really exhausted and just, ugh. So I was sick and stressed out. But thankfully, I got in a cab and the taxi driver was really nice, and he let me stop off at my house really quickly to grab the parcel slip, and then he took me to the post office. So the total fare was pretty expensive after it was all said and done, but he did give me a little bit of a discount, which was cool. But it all worked out. I got the package. Thankfully, she was still there. And I got home. I set up my computer to film the video, which nobody could see anything in anyway, but I breathed a huge sigh of relief. And when I opened up Jamari, it was like, yes, I did it. I felt like I just conquered the world. I traveled from one side of North America to the next, took 3 planes, an Uber, and a cab, made it home, got the box, came home and took a huge sigh and just opened up the baby and had my birthday dinner, and it was all good. I was really excited when I opened up Jamari because it was my first time ever seeing a reborn, and it was really exciting. And all the little clothes that she came with, and just feeling what a reborn felt like, and just holding her, and it was super exciting, and it was like all that stress just left me, and it was like, yes. Although I'm pretty sure that I came home after my birthday dinner and cried because I was just feeling so many emotions that day of having to say goodbye to my boyfriend after we spent a week together, and opening up my baby and going out for dinner, and just all the stress of traveling, and it was a really emotional day, March 9th. But it was a very tall day. But that was the day that I got my first reborn. I will never forget it. It was very intense, but very good. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed listening to my story, and I hope you've been able to see Essence. Oh my goodness, I think she was partially outside of the frame. Well, maybe you got to see half of her, I don't know. Whatever. I need to get a better setup for my video making, because putting the tripod on the bed is really not working. I mean, it's just really, really frustrating. But I'm gonna go cuddle with Essence now because she looks super cute in the sleeper, and she smells super good with her wafer in her diaper, and it's really good times. So I hope you've enjoyed listening to my story, and I will see y'all in the next one.